Hey there and welcome to the Wondershare EdrawSoft channel. Recently we have been reading through the comments and we noticed that there are a lot of requests for a tutorial on block diagrams. Well wishes granted, and in today's video we're going to dive into block diagrams, one of the most essential tools that offers a powerful yet simple way to represent the structure and flow of information when it comes to visualizing complex systems or processes. We'll be going through what it's used for, the basics you need to know, and how to create one using the latest version of EdrawMax. A block diagram is a drawing or illustration of a system whose major parts or components are represented by blocks, and these blocks are joined by lines to display the relationship between subsequent blocks. It is commonly used in various fields, including mechanical control systems, electronic circuit design, software system design, business process, and more. Whether you're a hardware or software developer, or even an electrician, block diagrams are so important because it is a go-to tool for visualizing systems, workflows, and processes. Here's the real magic. Block diagrams come in handy when you need a clear, easy to understand view of how information or control flows, especially in projects with tons of moving parts. They break down complex algorithms, data flows, and even how different components communicate with each other. Let's be honest, a visual diagram is a whole lot easier to digest than a wall of text, right? There are 5 basic components of a block diagram, which are: first, block, which represents the logical and physical components of the system. Then there's part, which comprises all aspects modeled using aggregation and association. Then we have reference, which includes all the parts developed using aggregation and association. And after that, we have standard port, the point of interaction between a system block and the corresponding environment. And then we have flow port, the point of interaction where a block can emerge from or to. Next up, we start drawing. Let's first break down the key terms that describe how the relationships work within block diagrams. First, we have association, which explains the communication amongst the blocks. Aggregation, which describes how a unit gets made of parts. Composition, which is a proper form of aggregation in which the existence of an object, which is part of a unit, relies on the presence of the group. We have generalization, a leading relationship between blocks in which a designated block contains all the properties of the entire block diagram. Now let's learn how to create a block diagram. First, you're going to open up EdrawMax, go to New Block Diagram to start from scratch. Or you can find and use various templates of effective block diagrams based on your requirements and start from something there. For this time, I'll choose drawing from blank to show you the entire process. You can directly drag the 2D or 3D connectors and basic drawing shapes and symbols from the symbol library on the left onto the drawing sheet as needed. To adjust a shape size, you can use the green selection handles. Double-click inside the block to modify it. You can also add another block shape above the existing one by dragging and dropping it from the library. To choose a connecting design, tap on the connector icon at the top, or you can find a round dot on each side of every block, click and drag, and it would generate a connector. Continue drawing on your block diagram by aligning and distributing the shapes. You can use your preferred colors or patterns to identify specific block parts. Make sure to label the blocks accordingly to ensure you have an ordered and distinct block diagram. Once you finish, you can get a better view by deselecting rulers and grid lines. Then select the From Current Page option to view the full diagram in full screen, just like we do every time we finish. To help you better understand block diagrams, let's wrap up by showing you some classic examples. These are really useful. If you're interested, click the link in the top right corner to visit the EdrawMax template community and get an instant trial. One of the most popular templates here is Computer Block Diagram. It shows how the CPU performs the logic and prints the results on the output devices like an LCD screen or a printer. There's another one, Hospital Block Diagram, and it illustrates the relationships between doctor, patient, medical equipment, and nurses. The doctor is responsible for the diagnosis of the patient, and the nurse provides treatment to the patient. The doctor will use medical equipment, which will be supplied by the nurse. Aspects of each entity are listed on the block diagram. For instance, as for the doctor, we need to know his or her name, the doctor's ID, address, phone number, specialty, and education. Then you can check out this flow block diagram, a multi-tiered time sequence step-by-step flow diagram of a system's functional flow is known as a functional flow block diagram, FFBD. Functional flow refers to the order in which activities are carried out, with flow arrows indicating the reliance on the success of previous processes, as seen in the diagrams below. FFBDs can also express input and output data dependencies across functional blocks, but they are primarily concerned with sequencing. Instead of creating block diagrams from scratch, using templates is likely the best choice for most Edrawers, as they provide the right facts and figures and truly are a time saver for you. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for joining us in this tutorial on creating block diagrams with Wondershare EdrawMax. We covered everything from the basics of block diagrams and their symbols to practical drawing techniques, all illustrated with real-world examples to highlight their effectiveness. If there's another tutorial that you'd like to see, feel free to leave a comment below and we'll make sure to consider your requests. Don't forget to subscribe for more EdrawMax tutorials and check the description for a link to try EdrawMax online and download it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.